Come along on a journey to learn about the greatest swordsman to have ever walked this earth, Miyamoto Musashi. His story is very interesting. In the heart of medieval Japan, amidst the rolling hills and cherry blossoms of the countryside, a legend was born. His name was Miyamoto Musashi, destined to become one of the greatest swordsmen in the annals of history. But the path to greatness would be fraught with peril and hardship, testing his resolve and shaping his destiny in ways he could never have imagined. In the year 1584, in a small village in the Yoshino district, he was born into a world of chaos and conflict. Musashi's early years were marked by tragedy and loss. Orphaned at a young age, his mother died shortly after giving birth to him and abandoned by his father Muni from the Shinman clan. At the age of 7, he was taken under the wing of a skilled swordsman, his uncle Doran. He raised Musashi at his Buddhist temple. Here the boy learned how to read and write as well to meditate and develop his spirituality. He spent countless hours alone in the woods, sparring against the unforgiving trunks of pine trees, his anger at his father being released as he built upon the skills that had been instilled in him. From the moment he first gripped a sword, Musashi knew that his destiny lay on the battlefield, where the clash of steel and the roar of battle would become his constant companions. In his great book, Book of Five Rings, he states that his first fight was at the age of 13. It was against a swordsman, Arima Kihei, who had put up a sign challenging any local to a duel. The bold Musashi took up the challenge, but when Doran found out, he attempted to beg it off. Kihei did accept the challenge as a joke, intent to teach the child a lesson, but he was attacked by a quarterstaff and hefty amount of blows. Kihei was beaten to death by the child. 3 years later, he embarked on a quest for mastery, unlike any other. Traveling across the length and breadth of Japan, he sought out the greatest swordsmen of his time, challenging them to duels and learning from their strengths and weaknesses. With each victory and defeat, Musashi grew stronger, his resolve steeling like the blade of his sword as he forged his own path towards enlightenment. It was on the fateful day of April 13, 1612, that Musashi's legend would be cemented in history. Facing off against his greatest rival, Sasaki Kojiro, aka the Demon of the Western Provinces. The duel took place on the remote shores of Ganryu Island. Legends tells us that Musashi's only weapon was a bokken, or a wooden sword carved from a boat he came on, while Kojiro's weapon was a nodachi, the great Japanese sword. With a single stroke of his bokken, he emerged victorious, forever etching his name into the annals of Japanese folklore as the greatest swordsman who ever lived. But for Musashi, victory on the battlefield was only the beginning of his journey. Retreating into the mountains, he sought solace and enlightenment in the tranquility of nature, embracing the teachings of Zen Buddhism and the way of the samurai. Through years of meditation and self-reflection, Musashi transcended the boundaries of the physical world, attaining a spiritual enlightenment that would guide him on his path for the rest of his days. As Musashi's legend spread throughout Japan, his teachings became the stuff of legend. Musashi opened his own dojo, one of hundreds in the city. News quickly spread of his unique style, and soon he was being flooded with students, inspiring and teaching countless warriors to follow in his footsteps and embrace the way of the sword. From the battlefield to the boardroom, Musashi's philosophy of strategy and tactics found resonance in every aspect of life, shaping the destiny of nations and individuals alike. And though he passed from this world on June 13, 1645. Shortly after his death, a stone memorial known as Mound Musashi was erected not far from his home in Kaido. For centuries thereafter, passers-by would dismount from their horses to pay homage to the greatest swordsman Japan has ever produced, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit and the indomitable will of those who dare to chase their dreams. And so, as the cherry blossoms bloomed once more in the land of the rising sun, the spirit of Miyamoto Musashi lived on, a beacon of hope and inspiration for generations to come. For in the heart of every warrior who takes up the sword, in the soul of every dreamer who dares to defy the odds, the legend of Musashi burns brightly, A reminder that true greatness lies not in the destination, but in the journey itself.